All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. And Deep Purple, I've been talking about Deep Purple for a while. A lot of fans kind of, with mainstream rock radio not playing any music by older bands that have soldiered on. And Deep Purple, one of the prime examples of a band that never really fell from grace as far as their albums were concerned. There might have been an album in the 90s that you weren't particularly thrilled about, but really mainstream rock stations pretty much abandoned Deep Purple after Joe Lynn Turner's a brief stint with the band Slaves and Masters, if you remember that record, which, by the way, is a really great album. Prior to that, you had the 80s where the band went through a big revival with those two fairly monster albums, again, really putting them back on the map. And you had Richie leave the group, talking about Richie Blackmore, and people keep going back and forth. Richie, it's not Deep Purple without him. It has been Deep Purple without him for quite some time. And he was an amazing guitarist, and he's a very outspoken guy, very headstrong. But it's nice to have a team player like Steve Morse, who's got his own his style is very distinctive. And again, one of those guys who's very underrated, although within, the circle of guitar players, you talk about Steve Morse, and you're talking guitar royalty. And he did change the sound of this group. No doubt. In fact, having Bob Ezrin and Steve Morse in the room really does something for this production. Really gives it a more progressive kick in a lot of ways. But again, music, it's hard to define at times. This music is comfortable if you're a Pink Floyd fan. I think if you like Pink Floyd, you would like the new material by Deep Purple because it's very thought-provoking. The new videos that they've released on their new record. By the way, the headline on this is "Every album is potentially our last album." And they've been saying that now for a couple of records, but what happens is I think their albums are really well received. They get a lot of views. I don't know if they're selling lots of copies, but they're getting a ton of views on various platforms because this kind of rock with a guy like Don Airey playing keyboards. This rhythm section between Pace and Glover is thunderous. And then, it's Ian Gillan's vocals, which he's adapted over the years, and he's learned how to sing this music differently without straining, without howling, without screaming, but he still gets the job done, and he's still a very unique singer to listen to, which I think is a testimony to how good this lineup is. Anyway, they talk about the new album, Whoosh, it's 50 years in the making. Every album is potentially our last album. We thought the last album was the last album, but there's another one, so we just keep going. I don't know how long they can do this, quite honestly. Everybody's getting up there in years, but they could probably keep going. I don't know why they wouldn't be able to keep going if everybody's healthy and everybody's quarantined, so that gives everybody time to create and write and think, and obviously putting out music this time I think is a really good idea. Ian Pace here unboxing the vinyl. Oh man, I love this. I love vinyl. Ear Music is the record label that's putting this out. They put out some good quality stuff. So there's a limited edition CD, DVD book box, which includes 3 more tracks from Rio 2017, added at the back end of the new studio album, not a separate disc. So if you're a Deep Purple fan, you get added tracks. Also, look at this, limited edition, vinyl, loving it. And then the whole concept here with this dude that looks like he's in a hazmat suit walking around, and the world the way it is right now. Very, very compelling stuff. Track listing here. Haven't heard all the tracks on this yet, but the songs I have heard, Nothing at All, which should be a radio song, should be all over mainstream rock radio. Man Alive could also be on mainstream. All three of these singles that they've released. Throw My Bones is probably the most odd and progressive song of the three, and really pushes their artistic and just their creativity. It really pushes the boundaries of that, and I think you'll enjoy all three of these songs. But certainly Man Alive and Nothing at All are very mainstream rock radio friendly, again, if we had a support system. And I talk about this stuff and people are like, just get over it. They're on Spotify. They're on YouTube. I don't think these guys upload their stuff to YouTube. They might upload to Spotify. It would be nice if folks went out and purchased these albums, and you get a lot of value here. You certainly get something interesting. If you have a turntable, have some nice purple vinyl. The theme of this album is putting the deep back into Deep Purple. I got a little confused looking at the vinyl. But this is a great little... I love it when the artist unboxes the music. Here's the punchline to this video. Go out and support this band. This band still has a ton of creativity in them. And this music won't disappoint you. This is some great music. And it's the kind of music I used to hear on rock stations. You know, at least the genre or the format. It's thoughtful. It doesn't necessarily make your ears bleed, but it's heavy. It's heavy enough at times to keep you interested and occupied. A great band that deserve more recognition in the year 2020 than so many other bands that get headlines every day on these silly rock sites I go to, and it's like, who? What? You go listen to 30 seconds of it, and you're like, oh, man. And this is what they're promoting. They keep foisting it. And obviously people are buying it. People are into it, but it doesn't change the fact that the music I grew up listening to is superior. And I will stick with that. I'm not going to go back on it. I just know it in my bones here. So, in any event, Deep Purple, Whoosh, coming out soon. Pre-order your copy and enjoy. You know, if you got to stay indoors or you can't go out places or whatever it is that you're being told not to do these days, at least have some good music along for the ride. And if you're not riding, along for the stay. All right, I'm done. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Lots of new subscribers coming on board. Hit the bell for notifications, and don't forget about Patreon. If you want to have a chat about something, it only costs $1 a month to join Patreon. And I need the support always to keep this channel moving and growing. So I appreciate everybody who's over there helping out. All right, I'm done. I will see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.